Hello everyone, I'm Jesse Krull. Welcome to a national playoff edition of TommieMedia's The Locker Room. For the second time in the past 4 years, the 4th-ranked St. Thomas football team will compete in the national quarterfinals. The 12-0 Tommies face another unbeaten team, 7th-ranked Wabash, at Saturday at home. Running back Mason Rudolph rolled up 183 yards and 1 touchdown in the Little Giants' 33-27 overtime win against Thomas More last weekend. I'm joined today by Coach Glenn Caruso, wide receiver Ryan Bradley, and defensive back Mozus Ikuenobe. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So, Coach, last week's St. John's game is sandwiched in between 2 unfamiliar opponents. So how much game planning do you have to do for unfamiliar teams, and do you more switch it up in game, or do you have to kind of stick to that game plan that you have during the week?
Probably more on both ends. So certainly you have to do more work on the front end when you're with an unfamiliar opponent to figure out who they are. And then it makes it even that much more important when you're facing an opponent like that to make sure that your adjustments are not just accessible, but they're very quick when you need them. And it's definitely a different test and a different field than last week was.
So Ryan, the Little Giants are holding teams to 70 rushing yards per game. Do you think that'll open up the passing game more?
Well, I hope it could. We could capitalize on that. I think what we've done a good job of since the playoffs have started is in-game adjustments, whether it be mid-week or in-game adjustments. We've done pretty well executing those. We'll do our best to execute Coach Caruso and Coach Killian's offensive plan, but I think if we can execute those adjustments, we'll continue to have success.
So they've got three strong levels at the linebacker position, defensive line, obviously, and the cornerback. What would you say is their more strong suit for those kind of levels?
I think in their defense, I think one of the biggest strengths that they have is they're bigger guys, and I think they're a hard-nosed defense, and I have a lot of respect for their DBs too. And I think what we need to capitalize on is blocking in the run game, wide receivers especially. And I think if we do that, we'll continue to have success.
So switching over to defense, Mozus, you had an interception last week. Obviously, turnovers are huge in any game, but now it's at the playoffs. How big is it to win that turnover battle?
It's pivotal. From my understanding, I think we're something like 58-1 when we win the turnover battle. So especially in the playoffs, it's really a huge difference, especially when you compete against an opponent of this level, seventh-ranked team in the nation. So it's a really big deal.
So their quarterback, Rice, threw 4 interceptions last week. Are you guys going to kind of take advantage of that, or do you think he's going to back off a little bit passing, knowing that he had a performance like that?
I feel like you never go into a game expecting the opponent to make a mistake or to play poorly. So we kind of take it with a grain of salt. We understand that, maybe he made a couple bad decisions last game, but, they're in the quarterfinal for a reason, and they're a very elite team. So we respect his talent and, are really counting on him to have a good game.
Coach, looking at the running game, Zurich, he could be a bowling ball. Him and Bob, if you really look at it that way.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
So you faced big backs in the past. So what's the key factor to kind of containing those backs and get them not so many yards after they get contact?
Well, it's tough. I mean, he's going to get his yards, and they're committed to it, and that's one of the things I really like and respect about their program is their commitment to the run game, and that's really a programmatic commitment. But we faced some big backs, but Mason's a supersized one. I mean, he's, 6'2", 6'3", 225 pounds. And what I think a lot of times when he's in the open field and he can get up ahead of steam, much like Jordan Roberts, he puts secondaries and outside linebackers in a tough predicament. But what I don't think he often gets a lot of credit for is how well he does with his vision and his footwork in the hole to get to that. Their offensive line is very, very good, but Mason can certainly be a dynamic back and beat you in many ways. So it's going to take a full commitment. I mean, absolutely 100% full commitment to try and slow down that run game, and that's what we've been working on this week.
And now it's time for this week's fan question. Ryan and Mozus, Senior Dave Bumgardner wants to know, given both your seniors, what's your favorite football memory?
Oh, man. I think my favorite football memory happened last week when we beat the Giants for the second time in one season. When you get an opportunity like that, you need to capitalize on it, and that's what we did, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
My favorite football memory was definitely when we went to the national championship in 2012. I feel like that's a lot of the seniors' favorite football memory for those of the guys that got to experience it, and it's been a really strong driving force for us to make an appearance again this year.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks
for
having
this weekend.
us.
If you have a question, tweet it to @TommieMedia. Thank you for joining us. With Coach Glenn Caruso, Ryan Bradley, and Mozus Ikuenobe, I'm Jesse Krull. We'll see you next time in The Locker Room.